The new open-weight AI model MiniMax M3 has just released, and it is already beating the elite models like Claude at coding tasks. In this video, I'm going to be diving deep into its architectural capabilities and also test it on 5 brutal AI tests. Welcome back to Build with AI series, where I cover AI tools to build AI applications on basic consumer hardware completely free of cost. And in this video, I'm going to be covering the MiniMax M3 model, which is a massive upgrade in the open source AI space. The model has just released today on 1st June, and it already brings elite coding, huge context support, and visual understanding all in one place. It is specifically designed to handle the complex developer tasks and autonomous agentic workflows. This means it can write code, run it, and fix bugs just like a real AI engineer. It uses MSA, which is MiniMax Sparse Attention, which means to process massive amount of information. The MiniMax team have built this architecture that supports ultra-long complex windows up to 1 million tokens. So you can pass on mass amount of code and text at single pass, and the model will understand both of your requirements. It also brings native multimodality right from the start, so it can process both image and video files. Even more impressive is that it can directly operate a desktop computer and complete your real task autonomously. And you might say that the expensive cloud models are already doing all this, but MiniMax M3 is the absolute first open source model that is offering all three in a single model. So this offers incredible possibilities for the developers who want to develop flexible AI apps. When evaluated on the brutal HWE Benchmark Pro, which looks at the real software engineering tests, M3 beats several closed source frontier AI models like GPT 5.5 and Gemini 3.1 Pro, and also scores right at the par of Claude's Opus 4.7, which is the current top-tier coding reasoning engine. It also shines while reading complex long documents and scores above Gemini 3.1 Pro in the OmniDoc benchmark, which contain documents having visual complex elements like charts, graphs, or tables. So it is comfortably outpacing the flagship systems of Google Gemini, which is the current king of reading long documents and processing them. Traditional models have an inherent flow which slows down their processing, and their attention mechanism, which checks which part of text the model will pay special attention to, has standard full attention mechanisms, which suffers from heavy mathematical slowdowns. So the computation growth in the context window of these standard models grows at a quadratic rate as your conversation context increases. But the new MSA mechanism completely bypasses this by using an optimized sparse attention architecture. It makes handling the long sequences really efficient without breaking the underlying capabilities. To prevent the system getting bogged down by the heavy context window, it includes a smart pre-filtering stage. This filters out the relevant data early on, so the model only focuses on the exact part of text that matters. On a deeper engineering level, it adopts this KV outer gather queue, which optimizes how the memory blocks gather the query data that is given from the user. When we restructure this outer loop, each data block is read exactly once, keeping your hardware memory perfectly smooth. This simple tweak allows it to run 4 times faster than the standard open source sparse tools. This shows how much performance you can unlock by just doing some optimizations at the operator level. And because of this, when processing the 1 million context window, the per token compute cost just slashes down to 1/20th of the previous generation model. So it is an incredible leap in the scaling efficiency of this new model. In actual testing, this model reads the input prompt 9x faster, and while giving back the answer, the generation speed increases by 15 times in the decoding stage. With all these optimizations, it achieves competitive scores across all the global benchmarks that evaluate the terminal executions and the coding agentic tasks. So if you are building real software agents, this model is highly dependable for you. Most of the standard AI models are only evaluated on the single turn task. So you give a single one-off question and the model generates the answer and it is evaluated. But in real life, developers actually work in continuous loops, where in the same session they can clarify some more requirements, adjust the solutions, assign some different tasks, or iterate over multiple rounds basis the intermediate results. To prepare model for this reality, the creators have built an advanced interactive user simulator. So the framework exposes the model during both the training and evaluation processes with the conversational patterns that the actual real human beings have with the AI agents. Future coding tools will also be trained and evaluated on the same metrics, and not just measured by the code generation. The real test is long-term collaboration, how it is planning the overall project, and how it is able to handle the human-agent collaboration. And for the multi-model capabilities, the M3 model has been trained on mixed modalities from the day zero. So this helps it to understand the text, code, and graphics in a much more unified way. So by mixing the text and images naturally inside the training datasets, the model is great at reading complex technical documents or huge engineering blueprints. And if you look at the close evaluation history of this model compared to the other closed source models like Claude, Opus, GPT, GLM, DeepSeek, you'll see that this blue curve of this MiniMax model is steadily climbing over its trial hour of training, with the accuracy keep on improving unlike the other closed source models. Now, to run your own experiments completely free of cost using this new model, you can try out their live web version at agent.minimax.io, where you can use a live web version like a chatbot, or you can also download the official desktop application. If you want to use it via dedicated developer plans, the first tier, which is the plus tier, is starting from $20 per month, which gives you a massive allocation of 1.7 billion tokens in a month. And you can also just take your API key and use it with your own tools like OpenClaw, Claude Code, or Klein, and it will work smoothly on any of your coding coding interfaces. Now I'm going to test this model using my own 5 tests using the live chat interface of the Mini using its free live chat interface. The first test would be to check its memory window where the new model is claiming it has 1 million of context. So I'm going to be feeding the entire text of the Frankenstein book. I'm going to be copying the full text of this Frankenstein book and give this simple prompt that I have attached the complete text of Frankenstein. Please summarize the events of chapter 5 in exactly 3 bullet points and then give the exact first sentence of chapter 6. And then I'm going to paste the copied text, ensure that MiniMax M3 is selected and press submit. This will evaluate whether the sparse memory architecture of this new model can actually find the needles deep inside the textbook without misreading the details. And now it is generating the response with the 3 bullet summary of chapter 5 where it is talking about the November night where Victor is bringing a creature to life but instantly horrified by its hideous appearance. Then it talks about the nightmare of Elizabeth and also about the violent nervous fear of Victor. And then it has also given the chapter 6 first sentence exactly. So if I copy this sentence and check in the raw text whether it is correct, you'll see that indeed the first sentence is this only in the chapter 6. And if we see the chapter 5 also, it has some dreary night of November, which exactly what it was given in the model's output as well. So it was able to do the exact long form formatting and find the relevant text that we had needed. Now moving to the test number 2 where I will check the visual capabilities of this model. I'm going to be pasting this prompt and giving it an image of a client server architecture, and I'm asking it to evaluate the computer network architecture, and then based on the visual elements, arrows and the labels in the image, what is the step-by-step flow of how the different components are interacting with each other in plain English. So the image is uploaded, I'll just press submit. And because the underlying weights of this model are built to process the multi-format input easily, it will not just read the OCR text labels but actually map the vector lines in the computer architecture diagram, and it should explain how the different nodes are connecting to each other. So now the response is ready. It is saying that the components are a laptop, mobile phone, printer and a cloud and a server on the right side. So if I show you the actual image also, it is indeed the case. And then if we see the flow that there are 3 client devices, laptop, phone, printer with a rightward arrow towards the internet cloud. Then the internet cloud is a central hub. From the internet cloud we move towards a server, and the server is the endpoint in the diagram. So in plain English it is saying that each device is sending something to the internet which delivers it to the server. So it is indeed accurately able to understand everything from the given image. Now for the test 3, I'm going to be checking whether it is able to identify and process the tabular data. So I'm going to be taking the classic iris dataset, downloading its CSV, upload it to the MiniMax chat and give it this prompt where I'm saying that I have attached the open source iris dataset. Just act like a beginner friendly data analyst. Write a Python script using the pandas library to load the dataset, calculate the average sepal length for the specific Setosa species. And then I'm asking it to explain what each line of your code does. So now it has given us the responses. It has given the code line by line. First it is importing the libraries, then it is importing the CSV file, then it is previewing the 5 top rows of the file as well, then it is filtering the Setosa species because I had asked the mean sepal length for this species, and then finally there should be a mean command. Yes, there is. That from this Setosa df it is taking the sepal length and taking the mean. So the final average sepal length would be in this variable, which is it is printing in a 2 decimal format. And finally it has given the quick mental model as well that we should load, filter, aggregate and then print. And it is saying that it is basically 80% of everyday data work in pandas. So it has given the full step-by-step process and the Python code as well, which you can directly incorporate in any of your data queries in the project. And next test I'm going to check whether it is able to do the logical flow and also change its conversation tone basis of my requirements. So I'm going to give it this prompt that write a Python function that takes a list of numbers and return a new list with all the duplicate numbers removed while keeping the original order of the numbers. Then I'm asking it to explain how the code works line by line as I'm a beginner. Then I'm asking it to explain the code line by line as if I am a beginner who has just started learning Python yesterday. So in addition of asking the solution, I'm asking it to also follow a tone where it is talking to the user like a beginner. So it has given the response. First it has given the function to remove the duplicates using sets in Python. Then it is looping over all the numbers. If it is not in scene, then it is adding them and finally returning the result. And then below it has given the line by line plain English explanation where each of the phrases are explained in detail in paragraphs like it is explaining to a beginner. Finally, it has also given a quick demo. If you give this list and if we print the list with the remove duplicates function, then it will print only 3152. Again, it is explaining the example as well and also asking some answers for some follow-up questions like why don't just set numbers because it will change the order. Then it has given one-liner version as well, and it is talking like stick with the loop version. It is the one that will actually teach you how it works, and the one-liner is just a party trick. So it is talking like a conversation tone to a beginner and also given the full solution line by line with other variations as well. Now in the fifth and final test, I'm asking it some technical breakdown where it has to explain the concept of sparse attention in AI to a high school student using analogy of trying to find an answer in a 1000-page textbook. Then I'm asking it some output restrictions as well, that the output should be under 100 words. There should not be any advanced technical jargon, and the very last sentence in the response should be a question to the high school student. So it has given the response in a very short paragraph that imagine a 1000-page textbook where you need answers in a one topic while regular AI is reading every page, every chapter about the whales when you are actually studying algebra, which is slow and exhausting. But sparse attention is like having a smart friend who flips back to the index, jump to the right chapter, only read the few pages that actually matter. So it skips the noise, gets you the answer way faster, and also still nails the question. And finally, it is given pretty cool, right? So there is no technical jargon whatsoever. It has explained the sparse architecture very nicely to a beginner and was also able to follow all the instructions that it should be a very short paragraph under 100 words ending with the question. So this was it for this breakdown. We saw how MiniMax M3 is actually able to bring incredible set of capabilities to the open weight model space and also make the long context agents really efficient. All the prompts that I have used today will be in the GitHub link in description and pinned comments, so you can get an idea how to use this model in some different use cases. Let me know in comments if you have some more suggestions for me to build some more local AI projects or to test some new groundbreaking models, and follow the channel for more such AI builds, updates and workflows.